Hello students, welcome to our first presentation of solving IGCSE exam papers. Today we are going to look at May 2018 IGCSE paper 1H, and we'll be looking at the first 5 questions and we'll be looking at the step-by-step solution of those questions. Now if you look at the test paper, I have put the first cover page of the test paper on our first slide. It says Mathematics A level 1-2 paper 1H, right? And this is the higher paper, which clearly is shown here. And there are the instructions. So in the exam you need to use black ink or ballpoint pen. Fill in the boxes at the top of the page with your name, which is here in these places, a center number and candidate number, which are to be filled in these parts. Answer all questions, and without sufficient working, correct answer may be awarded no marks. That means if you do get the correct answer but you don't show sufficient working, you may not get full marks. There are more space than you need. Calculators may be used. You must not write anything on the formula page. You will get a page with the formula. It comes in the second page of every single test paper, usually the second page. So you don't write there, because if you write anything there you will gain no credit. The total marks for this paper is 100. The marks for each question are shown in brackets. Okay, so read each question carefully before you start to answer it. Check your answers if you have time at the end. All right. So let's start with the first question. Okay, so let's look at question number 1, which says the table shows the information about the weights in kilograms of 40 parcels. Weight of the parcels, this is a group frequency table between 0 to 1. Frequency is 19. Then 1 to 2 frequency is 12. 2 to 3 frequency is 5. 3 to 4 frequency is 2. 4 to 5 frequency is also 2. They're asking us to write down the modal class interval. Now we know that mode is the most common value. That means we are looking for the class interval where most of the frequencies are. In this case, you can see 19 is the highest frequency, and the class interval here is 0 to 1. So your answer to this question is 0 to 1. Okay, and that gives you 1 mark. The next part of the question is saying work out an estimate for the mean weight of the parcels. So when you have a group frequency table, to work out the mean weight, we need to add on 2 more columns here. So column 1, we're going to call it the mid point, and the other one is, we call it Fx. F is the frequency column and the midpoint is your X. Now what we do is we try to find out the midpoint of the class interval between 0 to 1. What is halfway between 0 to 1? So to work that out, I'm going to add 0 and 1. So I'm going to go 0 plus 1 divided by 2, which will give me 0.5. I'm going to write down 0.5 here. Then between 1 to 2, right, the midpoint is going to be 1.5. 2 to 3, 2.5. All I'm doing is I'm adding these two numbers and dividing by 2. 3.5, and in this case 4.5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out Fx, which is this frequency multiplied by the midpoint. So 19 times 0.5 is 9.5. 12 times 1.5 is 18. Let's put 18.0 just for ease of calculation. 5 times 2.5 is 12.5. 2 times 3.5 is 7.0. 2 times 4.5 is 9.0. And then I'm going to add them together. So 5 plus 5 is 0. 10 actually. Carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. 8 plus 2 is 10, so that's 10 and 10, 20. 7 and 9 is 16, so 20 and 16 is 36. Put the 6 there, carry the 3 here. 3 plus 2 is 5. So your total for fx is 56. Now we need to find out the mean. So the total frequency, it says there are 40 parcels, so I'm going to check this. This is 40, so I'm going to do 56 divided by 40, which will give you 1.4 kilograms, and that is the estimate of the mean weight of the parcels, which is giving you another 4 marks. So we have gained 5 marks in this question. Let's move on to the next one. This is a question that involves ratio and fractions. So you see, whenever you look at a question like this, it's better to underline or highlight the key information. So in this case, there are some people in the cinema. 3/5 are children, and girls to boys, the ratio is 2 to 7. Okay, so if you say 3/5 are the children, so we can first start off by doing children to adults is 3/5 to 2/5, because if I add the 3/5 and 2/5, I get 1 whole. So if 3/5 are children, obviously there are 2/5 adults. So if I simplify the ratio, I get 3 to 2. Okay, now let's keep that there and let's work with the rest of the information. So here we see for the children in the cinema, girls to boys is 2 to 7. So I have got girls to boys is 2 to 7. There are 170 girls in the cinema, so let's write the 170 underneath the 2. I need to work out the number of boys. Now you see, 2 multiplied by something give you 170. I can work it out by doing 170 divided by 2, which will give me 85. So I have to multiply the 7 by the same number to get the number of boys. $595 boys. So what is the total number of children? So the total number of children is going to be 170 plus 595, which is 765, and that is the number of children. So I can write it down underneath the 3, 765. We use the same theory, same method. 3 multiplied by something gave you 765. To work that out, I do 765 divided by 3, which is 251. That means 3 multiplied by 251 gave me 765. So to work out the number of adults, I do 2 multiplied by 251, which is going to give me 510. And that is the number of adults in the cinema. Your answer is 510. And that question has got 5 marks in it. Let's now look at question number 3. Now, in each of the test papers, every year, historically we have noticed that there is a question that tests you on the basic knowledge of algebra. And these questions usually carry good marks. So if you can answer this question 100% correctly, then you would be able to build up a good foundation for your grades. Okay, so let's look at this one. The first question is saying simplify y to the power of 5 times y to the power of 9. So in this case, when you do y to the power of 5 times y to the power of 9, when we know that when we multiply, we add the powers provided the bases are the same. So it's going to be y to the power of 5 plus 9, which is y to the power of 14. Okay. The second question, second part of the question is saying 2m cubed all to the power of 4. That means a power raised to a power. in this situation you need to be a little bit extra careful, because most of the time the students forget to consider the power of 2. The power of 2 is 1 and the power of m is 3, and it's all to the power of 4. So when you open up the brackets, you actually multiply the powers together. So 4 times 1 is 4, so that's going to be 2 to the power of 4 and m to the power of 12. The power of 4 applies to both 2 and m cubed. Okay, so we're getting 2 to the power of 4, which will give you 16, m to the power of 12. That is the answer to question 3b. Okay, so that's 1 mark there, that's 2 marks there. Solve 5x plus 3 equals 3x minus 4. Plain and simple, we first expand the bracket. So you get 5x plus 15 is equal to 3x minus 4. What I've done is I've multiplied the 5 by both the x and the positive 3. Now let's bring the x's on one side, or let's remove the lesser x from one side. The lesser x is 3x, so let's remove it by doing the inverse operation, minus 3x on this side, minus 3x on this side. So 5x minus 3x leaves you with 2x. I haven't done anything with the 15 yet, and that leaves you with negative 4. Okay, now I'm going to remove the positive 15, so I'm going to minus 15 minus 15 on both sides. That will leave me with 2x is equal to negative 19. Now I need to remove the 2, so I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. So x is going to be 19 divided by 2 is negative 19 divided by 2 is negative 9.5, and that gives you your 3 marks, right? Okay, and there are 2 more parts to this question. Let's have a look. Okay, so question D, 3D1 or I, it says factorize x squared plus 2x minus 24, quadratic equation. So a quadratic expression. So what we do is we look at the last term, which is negative 24. Find out the factor pairs of negative 24. Negative 24 is negative 24 times 1, negative 12 times 2, negative 8 times 3, and negative 6 times 4. Now we need to see which of these pairs of numbers added together gives you the middle term, which is positive 2x. We can see that this one, minus 6 plus 4, when I add them I get negative 2, but I need positive 2, so I can write it as 6 times negative 4, which also gives me negative 24, and when you add them you get positive 2. So I'm going to open up 2 brackets like this. So I'm going to write x plus 6 and x minus 4. Let's test. X times x is x squared, and 6 minus 4 is positive 2x, and 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. So your answer is going to be x plus 6 and x minus 4. Now this hence solve the equation x squared plus 2x minus 24 equals to 0. I've done most of the difficult part of my work here. So I know that factorizing x plus 6, x squared plus 2x minus 24 is x plus 6 and x minus 4 is equal to 0. I can write it like that because all I've done is I've factorized the left hand side. Now 2 bracketed expressions multiplied together giving you 0, that means one of them has to be 0. So I'm going to start by writing x plus 6 equals 0, x is equal to negative 6. That's one answer. The other one is going to be x minus 4 equals 0, x is equal to positive 4. So the second answer is positive 4, and these are your 3 marks on the second part of the question. Total for question number 3 was 9 marks. So my advice to you is try to get full marks in these types of questions where you've got various skills of algebra tested, and it will develop a good foundation for your grade. Next question, question number 4, Venn diagrams. So first they've given you a Venn diagram. The universal set is here and there are 3 sets A, B, and C. So it says write down the members that are in set A. So we are actually looking for set A, this one. So look at the members of set A. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So we're going to list them 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Sorted. The next part they said B union C. So B union C is everything in B and everything in C. B and C combined together. So let's see what the elements are. So I've got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 10. So I have got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 11. Which means union means you are combining both the sets together. Right? So that's 2 marks. Next question. Or next part of the question. Brian writes the statement A. This is called intersection. That means the common part between A and C is, and this is called an empty set. Right? This symbol is known as phi, which means a set that does not exist. Okay? So Brian is saying A intersection C is an empty set. Now you can clearly see here that A is this set over here and C is this set over here. They are nowhere near each other. They are not intersecting. That means A intersection C does not exist. So is Brian correct? Yes, Brian is correct because set A and set C has no members in common. Okay? One of the numbers in the Venn diagram is picked at random. Find the probability that this number is in set not C. This means not C. So let's see how many members are altogether. We can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 members altogether in these 3 sets, in the whole universal set. And how many are not C? Let's just identify C. We're saying this is C. And we can see there are only 2 members in set C. So how many members are not in C? There are 12 members altogether, 2 are not in C, so 10 are in C. You can even simplify the fraction, 5 out of 6. And that is a 5-mark question for you. Okay, and the next part of the question is asking us, write 8 times 10 to the power 4 as an ordinary number, standard form question. So you can do 8 times 10 to the power of 4 means 10,000. So which will give you 80,000. Simple 1-mark question. The next part is saying work out 3.5 times 10 to the power of 5 divided by 7 times 10 to the power of 8. Give your answer in standard form. So what I can do is I can do 3.5 times 10 to the power of 5 over 7 times 10 to the power of 8. Okay? Now I can remove the decimal from here by multiplying the top and the bottom by 10. So let's see what I get. I get 35 times 10 to the power of, we know that when you multiply same numbers with different powers, you can add the powers, 10 to the power of 6. And I can do 7 times 10 to the power of 9. Now 35 divided by 7 is 5 times 10 to the power of 6 divided by 10 to the power of 9. When you divide, you subtract the power. So that is going to be 10 to the power of minus 3. Okay? There are other ways to do this question, but I believe this one is slightly easier. So that gives you your 2 marks. And that's how we come to the end of the first 5 questions of 2018 May IGCSE paper 1H. Thank you very much. We'll update and we'll start posting the second one soon.